Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Altered Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Do you recognize this cup, good sir?
I believe I gave it to you, or my family gave it to you for one of the holidays or birthdays or something.
Indeed it is, and it is a beautiful, crisp night here in Atlanta, full of hot chocolate happiness.
Yes, it is. So, ladies and gentlemen, of course, I am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zealeus. The Thursday Night Hangout is a weekly live show for you. We take your comments, topics, and questions and try our best to cover them with you during this week's show. If you didn't get a chance to submit your topic, question, etc., have no fear. You could drop it in the chat and we will add it to the show. If we do, unfortunately, run out of time, those topics will be added to next week's show, unless I really drop the ball, and then it'll be added to the next week's show, which is what happened, unfortunately, last week. All right, so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's jump right in. And the first question comes from Gunny Chief, and that is video game award shows. Do you watch them? Do you pay attention to the categories, who wins, or could you give two hoots? Or could you give a shit?
Not to poop on Gunny, but there's video game award shows?
Yes, there are. Heck, MTV was doing it for a while, weren't they? I think MTV was like, yeah, we're gonna get like Cliffy B up there and all the big names.
Well, I think the real reason I actually don't give a rat's behind about video game award shows is because of the proliferation of reviews. Like, you already have so many game scores basically coming out, like, Zelda gets a 9.8 out of 9.8 stars. It's amazing. Like, you already kind of have a gauge of what the best of the games are based on those type of ratings. So in my mind, I don't really pay attention to them because you can already kind of look and see at any moment in time kind of what are the best games, at least from what would be an awards perspective.
Okay, so Zealeus, let me remind you of something. There's something called the Oscars that happen every single year. There's all these sites, all these people who tell you this is the most amazing, mind-blowing movie or the most artistic art fart experience you're ever going to have, and yet they still do awards.
Yep, and the movies that usually win the Oscars are artsy-fartsy movies that the normal plebs like myself don't give two rats behinds about. We only see guns, explosions, and boobs, not like a storyline. So, yeah.
Are you saying that video games that have storylines can't win awards?
Wait, there's video games that have storylines?
Yes. Well, if you don't hit the auto skip on the dialogue, then yes, there is actual words being discussed between two individuals in a game.
I thought the auto skip was like an automated feature.
Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, so I mean, it was an interesting concept when it was first introduced, the video game award shows. But the fact of the matter is, it was kind of to me, and I don't know if this still exists, but there was this once upon a time, this might still exist. There was something called the Teen's Choice Awards, which was basically like Nickelodeon's like itty bitty, like, I guess, like our generation relevant type of stuff. And so I feel like what they were trying to do is they were trying to force, like, the artsy fartsy stuff that you see in like the movies. They were trying to categorize that for video games. And yeah, I mean, I don't think I've paid enough attention to it for long enough for me to truly say the following statement, but this was my opinion. I felt like this was the type of situation that was going to end up, whoever had the most money as the publisher was probably going to have the most, marketing, and it was going to end up being probably like the best game because they had a shit ton of money. What I'm more interested in is there's something at GDC, Game Developer Conference, called the IGF, which is the Indie Game IGF.
Indie Game Foundation, Indie Game Federation, Indie Game.
Hold on.
Falconry Club.
Anyways, it's basically a showcase of all the independent games out there that were created and submitted, and there's a grueling process. You also have, on a much smaller scale, what does IGF stand for, Zealeus? Because it's going to kill me.
Independent Game Festival.
Thank you.
It's a real thing.
Well, yeah, I know it's a real thing. Once upon a time, ladies and gentlemen, I used to be a developer, and one of my group team projects was actually submitted to IGF. We unfortunately did not make it as a finalist, but it's a great game. It's called The Escape, a Dusty Trail.
And apparently, GDC is now July of 2021.
Yeah, they had. I mean, let's be honest. Every single convention was canceled this year at a certain point. But anyway,
it's originally scheduled for March. Yeah.
So MomoCon has an indie game like award showcase as well. Now, my one issue with here's the thing, and this goes for all award shows. If you are in the running to win an award, unless there is some massive issue with you being there, you need to be there in order to get the award. I am, especially when it comes to independent game awards. I'm so sick and tired of people packing, the auditorium or wherever they're holding it, the theater where they're holding it. And you got all these people who drug their ass. Drug a word? They dragged their ass all the way to that convention to be in the audience, so in case their game won, they could accept the award. And then it's some jackass who's actually probably like a 4-hour drive away, who is like, if we win, we win. It's gonna be cool. Like, show up, man. Be proud.
See, to me, that's totally different. I guess, so when I was thinking of Gunny's question, I'm thinking more probably like the MTV awards like you're talking about, which in the grand scheme of things don't mean much. But I would actually say that like for a smaller indie showcase like the GDA or the MomoCon, I think those awards actually do matter.
Oh, yeah.
Because in this case, you're an indie developer trying to make your name. In that case, yeah, you winning an indie award in a situation like that may actually pique my interest a little bit.
Hell, to be honest with you, even if you're a finalist, if you look at some of these indie titles that do submit, these developers who do submit their indie games to all these different, there's a ton of game festivals. You will see, if you go to their website, they're usually, if they're a good solid game, you'll see, was a finalist at this one. South by Southwest has a competition as well. I mean, it's a big deal, So in that regard, overall, I mean, like the big glamorized, like Hollywood version of, handing awards for most dramatic depiction of, I don't know, a gun falling to the ground. I'm not going to give a crap. But, if
there's an explosion when that gun drops, that changes everything.
Well, here's the deal. And no offense to all those like developers out there who make humongous games, but I'm much more interested in finding out about that hidden gem, that amazing indie game that came out of nowhere. That's the one I want to know more about. If I want to know more about, Super Kill Fest 25 and its 26th year of existence. Yes, that's right. They took a year off. Then I'll just, I'll Google it. But there's probably ad banners everywhere for it. But, when you're talking about an indie game, hell, I mean, when Supergiant Games, because I love that company, Supergiant Games, their first game, Bastion, I accidentally stumbled upon them when I was at PAX. And now, of course, the rest is history. I am absolutely 100% addicted to anything that Supergiant Games puts out there. I have Bastion on my PC, on my tablet, and on my Xbox 360. I have Transistor on my PC and my Switch. Actually, I got Bastion on my Switch as well. That just shows you the only game that I don't have. Okay, there's only one Supergiant game that I do not have on multiple platforms, and that is Pyre. But I already have Hades on PC and on Switch. So that tells you how amazing that game is. And it was because I found out about them, through going to a convention. Otherwise, I wouldn't know. And I mean, shit, that's what we do for that's what I want to do for Altered Confusion, is give those type of people the spotlight they deserve. So, in short, or in long, I guess, the over-glamorized video game awards, I could care less. I feel like the vast majority of the time when they're like, best war game or best whatever, it's really, I feel like I would get as much out of watching that or looking at the list as just some generic person on BuzzFeed who goes, this is the top 10 shooter horror games that I think are the best. I mean, that's what I equate it to. So I don't give, I could care less, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and you already have like the on-year basically awards going anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, people get like GameSpot and then give out like, it seems like Game of the Year awards in like July.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing is, see here, I feel like, hell, any media platform or format, be it books, be it movies, be it video games, I feel like there's so many award shows that try to, like showcase stuff that everyone already knows about. It's like, it's kind of like, unfortunately, it's like kid level sports these days. Everyone's a winner. You didn't win at the, huh?
I say just for fun.
Yep.
Forbes, I just Googled for the hell of it, 2020 Game of the Year.
Yeah.
So according to Forbes, here are the Game of the Year here are the Game Awards Game of the Year 2020 nominees for games.
All right, Forbes, give it to me.
Games. Animal Crossing: New Horizons. I mean, if you're a Nintendo fanboy and that's your thing.
No. That's actually they've had hell, we've had enough time to figure this out, but there've been like mental health studies put on that, and it's like therapists are recommending that you play it if you can.
All right. So another nominee is Doom Eternal, which I've actually heard is amazing.
I've heard that as well.
Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Can you allow for a remake to win an award?
No. That's no.
I don't think. Look, I could say. I could say that a remake may be better than the original, but I don't think that I would, like differentiate and put that. I mean, God, this is complicated because you could just like, well, it was released in this year, so why is it? Why can't it be? Why can't it qualify? Well, why can't Chrono Trigger be qualified that 15 times it was re-released on every single goddamn platform?
All right. So another one is, I'm going to butcher this, Ghost Tsushima.
Yeah, Tsushima or something. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Which again, but it's a Sony exclusive, so I never played it, but I hear it's great.
It was very popular on Twitch for when I was really paying attention to what the hot game was.
Okay, here's one that probably beginning. So if you probably had to do a poll on games at the beginning of the year, would have been end of the year contendees.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another one. So the ones I'm listing so far would probably be like, yep, those make sense.
Yep.
And the other one is The Last of Us Part 2.
Okay.
So the last one, which came out of nowhere, Hades.
Hell yeah. I basically just gave you my fan spiel about Supergiant Games. It's a solid game. I'm still playing Hades. Although I did switch this past Tuesday. I decided to go kind of old school and I played some Torchlight 2. And then got really... I
saw that.
And I was shocked and scared when I discovered that one of the items you can insert into a socket on one of your weapons or armor was the skull of Ando. Which, for those out there who don't know, we have a friend named Ando, and so I was just like, "Oh no, Ando!" But anyways,
that's awesome.
But going back to what I was saying, I feel like for like the more mainstream media, the books, the movies, the TV shows, and hell, even the games, I feel like there's so many award shows that we're now at the point of like Little League. Everyone wins type of mentality. It's like, well, you didn't win the Oscars, you didn't win this one, you didn't win that one, but you won the Sonic drive-through March to the Marble Pit show with a funny credits or something. You know, it's like there's so many award shows just trying to find something to award everybody.
So here's this website, thegameawards.com.
Oh, Christ.
Never heard of it. But they have like, I just lost the stupid portal I was on because I clicked too many times. But they have like 15 different categories.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we are, a few categories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 27. They have 33 different categories.
I love it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 27.
I was multiplying the rows, man.
Okay,
7 by 3. And I carry the 1, add the model 4. Okay. Let's see here. Best role-playing, best family? Really? That's a category? Okay, what is the best family nominees? Animal Crossing New Horizon, I feel like is going to get every single category.
Yep.
Crash Bandicoot, 4. Fall Guys.
Yeah, okay, that's the only one.
Mario Kart, okay. Minecraft Dungeons.
Yeah.
And so here's one that kind of seems like it's flown under the radar is Paper Mario. You don't really hear much about that anymore.
Origami King?
Yep.
That's a solid game. I liked it. I mean, yeah. The unfortunate thing is with so many games coming out so fast and everyone having so much time to play these days because they got nothing else to do, a lot of even the mainstream games, they don't really, kind of stick with you because you completed them and you've moved on. Now, Zealeus, you did state Fall Guys, right?
That was one that was mentioned on there, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to parlay that into a story.
So can I mention one other quick thing I just find interesting?
Yep.
So we were talking, so I'm just looking at other categories, and we kind of mentioned just remakes count, and you kind of jokingly mentioned Chrono Trigger.
Yep.
Well, if you look at best esports game, they have games like Counter-Strike Global Offensive and Call of Duty Modern Warfare that are obviously not 2020 games, still actively played. So it kind of also blurs those lines in terms of to be nominated for a video game award, does it actually have to be released in 2020? Because basically that would destroy the entire esports category. I just thought that was interesting.
I mean, if you want to go, if it's an esports category, I say as long as it's still competitive and relevant, then sure, put it in that category. That's just my 2 cents. But Zealeus made mention of Fall Guys, which of course has been hugely successful. They've run like fundraisers and stuff to, of course, put your own little skin in the game while raising money for this or that charity. And we had made mention last week about, the woes of Twitch and them going a little bit wacko cuckoo over basically dropping the DMCA ban hammer on individuals for like sound effects in games. So let's put both of them together, Fall Guys and Twitch. Turns out a large Twitch streamer by the name of XQC has been banned from the Twitch platform because, and this was another thing that a lot of streamers on Twitch were pissed off about, is there was still a lot of vagueness around why things were getting removed, and there really isn't any way to like kind of counter or dispute a copyright strike. Because everyone was saying, they're spending too much time on trying to publicize about GlitchCon, this virtual convention. Well, it turns out that this huge popular Twitch streamer, once again, XQC,
I've heard of before.
While playing during GlitchCon last weekend, was found cheating in Fall Guys.
Nice.
The former Overwatch League pro will also, because he of course was caught cheating, will have to forfeit his prize money. Seriously, if you're caught cheating, why the hell would you not have to forfeit your prize money?
That's crazy.
Anyways, the summary is, during a Twitch Rivals tournament at GlitchCon, this individual violated our official tournament code of conduct and gameplay rules. Competitive integrity is important to us, and we expect all players to exhibit good sportsmanship and maintain respect for one another. His actions will result in a temporary ban from Twitch Rivals tournaments and forfeiture of prizing from the event. Additionally, for violating Twitch policies, he has been issued a temporary Twitch account suspension. That suspension is 6 months.
For somebody like that, that's a lot of money for them.
Yeah.
But what do I know him from? Like, what else is he like? He's one of the few like streamers I actually know.
Well, he was an Overwatch League pro, so
okay, that's that's where I know him from then.
But come on, you're a big name. I mean, yes, I understand the allure of, well, I'm a big name, I've got to be perfect at everything.
According to XQC, what I did had no impact on the outcome, but it was just wrong. Sorry again. I wasn't trying to cheat out of malice. I was just trying to entertain. 7-day suspension for now. Ride the lightning. Crash like thunder. Go again. P.S. Give me winning to charity and I'll match it.
Oh, sorry. It was the ban was the 6-month ban was for Twitch rivals. The thing. Otherwise, it was a temporary ban. Would you say 9 days? 7 days. So, but still, come on, man. Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Does it say exactly how he cheated? So it's basically said actions during the tiebreaker of the Fall Guys match violate the official tournament code of conduct and gameplay rules found in Section 7 of the official tournament rules. As a result, and effective immediately, they received a 6-month ban and had to forfeit their money. Section 7 states cheating of any sort through any means. What the hell does that mean? Intentionally delaying or slowing gameplay or tampering with gameplay in any other known or unknown manner. Wow, that's vague.
I don't know what actually happened.
What does that even mean? So I think I'm going to guess that he was doing something to like dick around and kind of waste time in a game that allowed him to have a competitive edge. I don't know. Stupid. That's all.
He stream sniped an opponent live on air. Stream sniping is when you look at another player's stream and intentionally grief them when you happen to queue into the game together.
Wow, that's.
I mean, it's like when we played GoldenEye and you would screen watch.
Yeah, man.
I mean, I think.
But he's not Hot Seat Gaming, damn it.
It's Hot Seat Internet watching. Yeah.
Look, let's be honest. I know that this is probably a foreign concept at this point, but there's this thing called LAN, which is local area network, where you and a bunch of your buddies would bring all your desktops to one area and you would play a multiplayer game against each other and you'd be in the same room. And yes, instead of the, like GoldenEye or any of those old school first-person shooters that did split screen, instead of doing split screen, what you would do is you would angle yourself behind one of your opponent's computers so you could see their screen and figure out where the hell they were. Gun Chief says, sounds worse than Dr. Disrespect. But here's the thing. We still don't know what the hell Dr. Disrespect actually did. They're still tight-lipped about it. All I know is that because of the ban, he lost all of his sponsors, and he got truly dicked over by Activision, and there's a lawsuit or a counter lawsuit or something. I don't know. There's still legal battles to be had. So, yeah. But there's definitely, if you're going to cheat like that, if you're going to obviously, do something like that, then yeah, you should get, kicked in the metaphorical nuts very, very hard.
Well, it also sets a precedent because if they had just let it go, then it opens the floodgates also at the same time.
Yeah, it was like, oh, well, shit, this is fair game then.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah. All right, so speaking of Twitch and this crazy, guess like copyright attacks that have been happening, because as we said last week, they're literally going after. You're getting hits for sound effects that are in sound libraries. Apparently, someone was streaming a World of Warcraft stream and got dinged for the sound effect for, was it like wind blowing through the forest or something like that. Okay, so all that happens, right? So the company behind Cyberpunk 2077 has added a feature to the game that that's called streamer mode. And what that mode is it disables copyrighted music.
Nice.
The developer will give players the option of disabling certain songs in Cyberpunk 2077 in an attempt to avoid copyright strikes while live streaming or making videos that feature audio from the game. One of the people who worked on it said Cyberpunk 2077 will automatically disable those music tracks when players stream from the console version, but that players will be able to toggle the feature on and off. PC players will be able to turn it on and off in the game options. And just for, just in case someone accidentally forgot, CD Projekt Red is planning to release Cyberpunk 2077. Hopefully this time they don't delay it again, because it's like 2 or 3 times already delayed. They're aiming for December 10th on the PlayStation 4, Stadia, PC, and Xbox One. The PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X, Y, Z, Q squared, 333 repeating is going to come later. But okay, side note: does anyone actually have a Stadia? Like, I heard, and this is kind of funny. I've heard that Google's actually going to release a Stadia app in the iOS store, so you can, so you don't actually have to have the Stadia toggle for your TV. Like, literally, you could just play it on your iOS, which would be very interesting. Aren't they circumnavigating the pay gate?
No idea.
Oh, damn it.
Although it's not coming out on the Switch.
I didn't figure. It was probably a little bit too graphically intensive for the Switch. I would say that it's probably outside of the Nintendo's usually in the past had this we go from little gamers up to teen, T for teen. But that, of course, has gone by the wayside thanks to digital distribution. And let me tell you, there are some games that are out there on the Switch store that, unfortunately, you don't have to really jump through a lot of hoops to gain access to, and are highly inappropriate for children.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's just the hardware. I mean, the hardware could barely handle Witcher 3.
Yep.
So my guess is just a hardware issue more than anything else.
Ironically, Witcher 3 is another CD Projekt Red game, so they're probably it didn't work with Witcher 3, and we're going to make something even more uber powerful than that. Yeah, we're not doing Switch again. Yes. Are we? Is that what we're hoping for all our developers, the developers and publishers to do now? Is to now have a streamer mode? Is that where we're going to have to go? Make sure that all of the stuff that could potentially get you a copyright strike gets disabled when you're streaming?
If that's really the case, then I hope we get a new streaming service, because that's just not fun.
No. Well, and we may mention this last week is what are your alternatives?
Yep.
YouTube gaming is gone. Yes, technically, you could still stream on YouTube, and you could designate that you are playing a specific game on YouTube, but there's not a dedicated YouTube gaming section. Mixer is absolutely 100% gone. Facebook gaming, Facebook streaming period is still a pain in the ass, to be honest with you. Hell, I mean, what is it? Are we going to go Instagram or Twitter? Or
I guess you could post it all on there, so why not?
Yeah, I don't know. That would be very interesting if you could. Well, I mean, because you could can you do live videos on Instagram? I think you can.
Oh yeah, no, you can definitely do live videos. There's actually a lot you can do on Instagram. I just don't understand about 80% of it.
I wonder how much trouble you would get if you were to stream a game on there with copyrighted material.
My experience with Instagram, if it's nothing happens, and all of a sudden you get randomly banned.
Sweet. So basically, what Twitch is doing right now.
I guess you could be an Instagram influencer live streaming on Instagram, sure. But I also there might be a limit on how long you can stream on Instagram.
Oh, I would be sure. Yeah, I would. Yeah, something like that. I would bet the house that there is definitely a limit on that. So, I just find it interesting that, and kind of funny that there's a company that's already going, you know what? We're going to ease your worries. And because we know everyone and their mothers could be streaming Cyberpunk 2077 when it first comes out. So we're already going to have a feature that's not going to get you kicked off your favorite streaming platform.
So actually, it's 4 hours on Instagram, which isn't bad.
No, not bad at all. That's an entire stream session for me.
Instagramming on your PC is a terrible experience.
I can't even figure out how to post a picture with Instagram on my PC.
I don't actually think you can.
I know.
So,
I know you can,
yeah,
but
it's annoying.
But I keep forgetting that and keep trying, and then it fails miserably or spectacularly. Yep. So there was a bit of so we have Cyberpunk 2077 news coming out, but there's also like kind of a surprise thing that was going to drop today from IO Interactive. For those who don't know, IO Interactive is the company behind the Hitman series, who just passed, was it 20 or 25 years?
We talked about it a couple weeks ago.
Last week we did. Anyways, I think it's 25th. I think it was the 25th year of the Hitman franchise. So there was a big announcement that dropped today or this morning, and everyone's going, "Oh my God, it's a new Hitman," because they've already announced that there's another Hitman coming out. So what would they do? The big announcement is something called Project 007. It is a new James Bond movie game where you get to play a character and earn your 00. For those who don't know, gaining the 00 means you're a trained assassin.
Yes. You are part of the squad of His Majesty's service.
Yes. Very interesting. I mean, IO Interactive could definitely make an assassin Hitman game. So having, being able to do the James Bond license, I'm totally behind that. I have no problem with that.
Yeah. I mean, if there's a company that could do it, they've done those type of games
for 25 years.
Yeah.
So they got it.
Sense.
So, gosh, like all these stories seem to like loop back to each other. So we talked about Cyberpunk 2077, and we've also talked about other games like 007. Of course, 007. If you look at GoldenEye, you look at all those games, you always have one of the characters always going to be the actor who played the role. Of course, Cyberpunk 2077 has Keanu Reeves in there. So there was another announcement that came out recently, and that was that the New Day, the WWE superstar team of Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods, were going to be playable characters in Gears of War 5. So,
nice.
So I was thinking about it, and I'm going to list a couple of actors or famous people who are in games, and then I want your opinion, everyone's opinion, on how you feel about when you see a popular celebrity be getting inserted into, could be a fighting game, could be an RPG, could be something. So here's some of the other ones that I was able to find quickly. One, of course, is Martin Sheen from the Mass Effect series. He did I loved his character in Mass Effect.
He was perfect, though.
Yes, he was. Kevin Spacey was in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. Bruce Lee was in EA Sports UFC. Okay, then the next two that I found, I don't know if you could really say, it's like a celebrity appearance, as they are in the title of the game.
Mm-hmm.
The first one, of course, is Mike Tyson in Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
Yep.
And the second one is the rapper 50 Cent in the game 50 Cent Blood on the Sand.
Nice.
So I don't know if I could really say, it's not a celebrity appearance. It's just, that's the main character or the main bad guy.
Like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out was Mike Tyson, punching you out in the last round.
You, of course, had to play the part of Little Mac, who, Basically about as close to Rocky as you could get. The movie franchise, not like it was terrible.
Yes.
And of course, just to throw one last one in there, apparently Jimmy Kimmel was in some like cutscene for Call of Duty Black Ops 2.
The more you know.
The more you know. So my question is, how do you feel about when celebrities or famous people get put into a game? And let me kind of like go like build off that real quick. Is it better or worse if if you have someone, some character or some celebrity come in and play themselves in the game, or they try to pass themselves on someone else?
I think it could work either way. Like you said, Mr. Sheen and Mass Effect was one of the best NPCs in the game because he gave a certain, I think, voice levity to the game as the elusive man that would have otherwise not been there.
Mm-hmm.
It was perfect for what could have actually been a super cheesy, annoying character. Worked out well. And I think for the day, for the example of New Day, I'm willing to actually be interested because New Day is also, especially Xavier Woods,
Mm-hmm.
they're video game fanatics. They actually host it's actually a whole separate potential litigation with WWE and some things that are going on.
Mm-hmm.
But they host their own Twitch show called, was it like Up, Down, Left, Right, or something,
Mm-hmm.
where basically they shoot the crap about video games. And they go like cosplay all the time in this video game. Like they're huge video game fanatics.
So when dealing with the WWE, are we basically is this type of like legal situation? Are we kind of like in the same vein as what happens with college athletes getting money for like endorsements or being like YouTube influencers and gaining stuff like that?
So the crux of the issue is forever. It comes down to labor law.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, WWE superstars, as they call themselves,
Yep.
are considered independent contractors according to the WWE, which means like they actually don't get health benefits from the WWE. All this they have to do on their own. And what's happened now is in the last couple of years, a lot of them, New Day being one of them, have taken to basically become big time stars on Twitch.
Mm-hmm.
In some cases, some of them definitely make more money on Twitch than on WWE as a wrestler. And basically now what's happened, and it was announced, I guess, about 3 to 4 months ago, where WWE said that as a WWE superstar, you can no longer do these independent side projects. Period. End of discussion. And it's not just that one. There's another service that they use too. I don't remember what it's called right now. But of course, the crux of the issue is they're considered independent contractors who are not actually paid benefits by the WWE. And you have them basically trying to control what you as an employee can do outside of business hours.
So I do want to interject real quick, and that is the part where Zealeus is talking about, they don't have healthcare and stuff. I love Last Week Tonight with John Oliver on HBO, and he actually did a segment about this very topic. And I'm gonna paste the link in the chat.
Was this recently or like a while ago?
It was a while ago. It was
okay. So it's pre this whole Twitch thing.
Yeah, no. It was March 31st, 2019. So about a year and a half ago. But
and
still,
the other kind of conundrum when it comes to WWE is it's a superstar. So WWE calls everybody superstars.
They're not.
But but it's heavily driven by we're actually the superstars. So the really popular guys, like right now, it'd be like the AJ Styles and the John Cenas and Randy Orton's in them. It's run by them. Well, those
what
guys
about
are
CM Punk?
Yeah. Well, he's just an asshole. And so, but those guys are making like $5+ million a year.
Right.
And like, if you're like John Cena, well, actually all those guys, except for most of them are doing like movies on the side too. So they're fine. Like they're making
that work,
the money.
Though? Like how are they allowed to do that, but these guys can't stream?
So it depends on their honestly, a lot of it's their leverage. So if you look, so it's also kind of morphed. And one of the rumors of why this happened was honestly because of The Rock. So WWE used to have their own, they might still have it, I don't actually know. They used to have their own video production. Like there was a WWE studios who made movies. They might still be doing that, I don't know. But like some of the B-level actors like Randy Orton and The Miz, they've been in their movies. Usually they're like action marine type of movies. Stone Austin's been in them. Well, obviously The Rock is now, he actually makes the most money of any actor in the world. And he did it without basically, he made it because of the WWE, because he got him that platform, but becoming an actual movie star, he did it without basically leveraging the WWE universe. And so part of it is Vince McMahon is a notorious control freak.
Oh God,
like yes. he just is. And so part of kind of the scuttlebutt is you now have people like The Rock, and actually John Cena has basically left WWE, who are now doing the stuff outside the WWE. And Vince sees it as like, I made you, damn it. You should be like bowing down at my feet. That's part of it. The other part is WWE, they're in their eyes, they're losing money by not getting a part of that income from Twitch.
Gotcha. So
that's part of it too, is they feel like they should be getting a cut of the profit. The other problem too they run into that is WWE in the last couple of years, they've become terrible at the fan interaction. Like they've lost all touch with what people are actually interested with in wrestling.
Right.
So they've actually given written to another wrestling enterprise, AEW, All Elite Wrestling, which some other guys have gone to. And it's become very popular because they actually care what the fans think. And so there's also the big, I think, legitimate worry where if WWE takes control of all the Twitch streams, they're going to make them terrible.
I'm sure.
Because part of what these guys and gals, it's actually a lot of females are also, because females in like most industries, they're paid less than their male counterparts. And so they're also becoming very successful on there too. And they're also able to be themselves, because wrestling is an acting job with calisthenics. And when they're on these Twitch streams, they just be themselves, shoot the shit, do whatever they want to. And there's a very good chance where if WWE starts taking control of your stream, you'll no longer, it'll become like basically scripted. That's one of the other big complaints against WWE is 99% of your promos are all scripted.
Of course.
And it shows.
So real quick, WWE Studios, the I guess the film media arm of WWE, it still does exist. And just for a kick in the pants to them and a little giggle for all of us, they produced in 2019, July 2019, they produced their first television show for Quibi, which of course is the platform that's already shut down. That was like a $4 billion.
Yep.
So I just think that's funny.
And the part of the issue too is you've had, because like I think it was in the 90s or 80s. I think it was actually, if I remember right, Jesse Ventura was actually trying to get the guy, and he was a big name. He was trying to get the guys to unionize, and Hulk Hogan basically ratted him out to Vince McMahon, and he basically got put on the shit list. And so basically anyone is fearful because as soon as you mention the U word, because you're an independent contractor and probably their contracts are not worth the salt they're written on anyways. You can be cut at any time. So yeah. But it's stuff like that why AEW, All Elite Wrestling, is becoming super popular among wrestling fans.
Yeah. So
yeah. So it's kind of interesting though, because it's to me it's a fascinating question, because it's on one hand they're leveraging their WWE fame for Twitch, but to make that profit. But on the other hand, they are completely independent contractors, and WWE is kind of control what they do outside of the ring, basically, as a income source.
So just real quick, I believe the time that Ventura got into trouble was about it's like 1985, 84, something like that.
Probably sounds about right. Yeah.
Anyways, okay, so let's take a quick moment to thank our amazing friends of the show who love and support us. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about our first amazing organization, that is the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. They are amazing. If you have been, I'm not exactly sure how far their traveling booth goes, but definitely in the Southeast, you will see them once conventions start appearing in person. Though I do think that they do have a virtual presence, if that ability, or if they have that capability, to kind of like showcase their stuff for like a MomoCon or a DragonCon or something like that. The next one that we have to do a shout out for, of course, is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They have committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. As I've stated many times, Ryan's been my chiropractor forever and a day, and my son he also is the chiropractor for my son, and my son is already seeing benefits. So definitely, if you are in the greater Atlanta area, look up Hero Chiropractic and definitely get you some help and awesomeness. Now, so the next one we want to do a shout out for, there's a little bit of sad news before I actually really go into the spiel, but Nurburger Games. Nurburger Games is created by Craig Campbell. For those of you out there who may know Craig from his Nurburger podcast, he's actually bowing out as the co-host now.
What?
Yep. He will no longer be part of that. That doesn't mean Nurburger Games is going away. It just means the Nurburger podcast will continue on with Mike and other co-hosts. So anyways.
Is that even possible?
Apparently. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let me talk about Nurburger Games. Nurburger Games is the game design imprint of award-winning RPG designer Craig Campbell. Craig has done a whole bunch of RPG design freelancing in the past. Several years ago, he dove into designing his own RPG. Now, Nurburger Games has multiple RPGs and is showing no signs of stopping. Nurburger Games endeavors to create games that explore corners of the RPG landscape that haven't been explored, or haven't been explored very often. These games forgo dense gaming mechanics in favor of lighter rule sets that allow players to focus on telling fun, engaging, memorable stories. Some of the games that they have under their umbrella is Capers, Die Laughing, Merged Acquisitions, and the just now successful Kickstarter. That, of course, is Good Strong Hands. Now, I did mention that that Craig is stepping away from the Nerdburger podcast, but he is starting a Twitch show with another game developer. I cannot remember off the top of my head what it is, but I will definitely look it up and broadcast it to the masses later. Now, of course, the final shout out we have to do is our local watering hole, and that, of course, is Battle and Brew. Battle and Brew is Atlanta's first and oldest gaming bar and restaurant. Opened in 2005, Battle and Brew had a very modest menu, a few beer taps, and focused heavily on gaming. Now, they have grown to encompass so much more. They pioneered geek trivia in Atlanta and remain the hardest trivia in town. They have upgraded the menu from only a few items to all your bar favorites, and some soon-to-be favorites. They've expanded the gaming and kept everything top of the line. They've taken a good place and made it a great place. A place where the staff listens to your desires and suggestions. A place where you and your friends feel like you're at home. A place where everyone knows your game. And once this pandemic is at a stopping point, I will definitely be there. I will need an Uber or a Lyft home because I am going to catch up on lost time. But I will tell you this. These guys have gone far and beyond on trying to find a way to keep their place open for gamers like us. I mean, they've shut it down several times because of, a potential of COVID, and then they've done like impressive full, store cleaning things. There's a lot of regulations. They make sure everyone is safe there, but still has a good time. Seriously, if you are in the Atlanta area, you've got it, and you don't know about Battle and Brew, if you've never been there, you have to check it out. Now, I understand that there are some limitations to when you can go to Battle and Brew because of age, but I think they've kind of done away with most of that to allow for a broader audience. You do get ID checked at the door, so you get like a little wristband or something so that you could drink. And let me tell you, their drinks are amazing.
No, I want a mana potion right now.
I'll take 3, and then someone's got to drive me home.
All at once, just like funnel them together.
Yep. Just pipe them in, man. Just pipe them in. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we gave a shout out to some of the friends of the show, so let's do some other shout outs. Now, I do know that my 24-hour game-a-thon has passed, but I still have to talk about Extra Life. We are proud to state that we have fundraised for Extra Life for 9 straight years, and we're going to continue to do so. So we'll do, so soon it'll be for our 10th year. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, gaming, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money that we raise through Extra Life will go directly to children for Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. Currently, our goal was set at $250. We have now surpassed that. We're now, I think, $276. And of course, by all means, you could still donate to our Extra Life, or if you have a friend out there who has done the 24-hour game-a-thon, or maybe still hasn't, because you didn't have to do it on that specific date. But it is a great organization, and as you can see, we've already done 9 years straight. So if you have the ability, please donate to Extra Life and help out those amazing hospitals that take such good care of the children.
Yes.
Now, changing a little bit of focus, I've got to tell you that Altered Confusion has a Patreon. Altered Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you, and so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, fans, supporters, lovers, haters, and all of them in between, become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. Now, I want to thank everyone who is currently a patron, and I want to, tell people that there's still room to be a patron for Patreon. The money that we've been raising has now been used, a portion has been used to upgrade our rendering software for our audio, for our podcasts and our videos. You'll see that there's going to be an increase in quality for the videos, and also it allows me to take a humongous video file
Ooh.
of an entire gameplay and split it into bite-sized chunks instead of having to do it manually bit by bit. And the proof is if you go to our website, www.AlteredConfusion.com, and you go to the playthrough section, you will see a playthrough for a game called Jenny LeClue. That is, I think it's like 17 episodes. Thanks to our upgrade to the new version of Camtasia, I was able to do that. I mean, it still took a hell of a long time to render, but it basically made 17 separate files. Then I was able to upload to better video. Altered Confusion can't get any better. They can with your help. Now, going back to Patreon, we do have 2 levels currently. I am kind of toying around with a 3rd level, but right now there's 2 levels. There's a $1 level, which is you have my deepest thanks, and I hope that those out there who are not patrons currently will join at that $1 level, because that you have no idea how much that helps in the long run. And then, of course, there's a $5 level, and if you do the $5 level, you become part of the friends of the show, as well as you might get some other goodies. And then if you, at this current time, like I said, there is not a 3rd level. However, if you do decide to pledge more than $5 a month, please inform me, because I want to give you something special to basically give you what you deserve. If you're going to give more money to Altered Confusion, by all means, please do. But I want you to get your money's worth. So I will hook you up with some special, awesome stuff.
Like a signed Mountain Dew?
What was it? Was that, I think it was Con Carolina, where I had a bunch of people who wanted me to sign the Mountain Dew black labels.
Yes, as you should.
I know. But yes, that's one way you can help Altered Confusion. And now that I have successfully added the Patreon button and the Extra Life button onto our website, www.AlteredConfusion.com, which, of course, we just went through an entire website revamp. So it's brand spanking new, looks amazing. And, of course, it gives you the ability to do the Patreon, the Extra Life. And also, if you do want to do a monetary donation, but you only want to do a one-time thing, there is a Donate Now button that goes to our PayPal. That's where all the money funnels into. That we will then use for upgrades with the equipment for Altered Confusion, or to cover convention costs. If we are, I pray that we get to go back to physical conventions, because I am dying here, folks. I need to walk the convention floors. I need to see those amazing, unique personalities and tables and games and artists and all that stuff. I need it really bad.
You're dying? That's very unfortunate.
I am. But
what are you dying of?
Loss.
Loss?
Yes.
The loss is killing you?
Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you do not feel comfortable with doing a financial donation, I know that in this crazy ass time, there's a lot of us out there who are strapped for cash. If you want to help out Altered Confusion, the best and easiest way to do this, and I recommend that you do this no matter if you donate or not, is follow us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and on Twitch, follow our Instagram, and on all those platforms, please do yourself a favor and make sure the notifications are turned on, because I don't want you to miss out on any awesomeness. That being said, as I stated, so we got YouTube, we got all that stuff. I want to break some news, and I already did it on I think I did it on a couple social media platforms, and that is Altered Confusion has officially been recognized as a podcast on Pandora. So if you go on Pandora and you go to the podcast section, Altered Confusion will pull up in that listing. I submitted that. I don't even know how long ago I submitted it to be a podcast on Pandora, but we finally literally got the email today saying that Altered Confusion is now a listed podcast on Pandora. So if you want to go that route for your podcast, you can go that route, or you can do the iTunes store, or you can go to Podbean, or you, of course, go to our website, and it's all there. Now, that being said, if you...
Too many sources of which to listen. I don't know if I can handle that much.
The awesomeness of Zealeus is too much awesomeness, which is okay because I offset it. But anyways, but ladies and gentlemen, let's say that you do all that stuff, everything that I've said up to this point, but you want to do more. There is the ability to send us something that if you want us to showcase something on our show or on our Instagram or one of our social media feeds. If you want to send something into the show within reason, I have to keep saying that for legal reasons, then all you got to do is send it to 1551 Dunwoody. That's DUNWOODY Village Parkway. This is super duper important. Number 88276. If you do not put that number, it will not get to us. That is the P.O. Box number, 88276. Without it, it goes to the post office proper and then will be mailed back to you. The city, once again, is Dunwoody, DUNWOODY, Georgia, zip code 30338.
So I wonder if I have any Mountain Dew sitting there for me.
I do know I know that there's at least one package there. There might be two. But once again, I have not been to the post office in quite a while. One of the reasons was I had to be quarantined. I did not catch COVID, but I had family members who did, so I had to make sure that I was not infected.
I'm glad you were not infected. That would have been crazy.
I hope that everyone, if anyone out there is infected, I hope that you get better. You get the treatment that you rightfully deserve. And I hope that we can all take steps and whatnot to be safe so that we can once again return to regular society. Do not jump the gun. Wait until everyone's ready. Now, I do have I've got to ask this topic. Otherwise, someone's going to get really pissed because I've pushed it twice. And that is, how do you personally deal with a series, be it a movie, a book, TV show, game? How do you deal with a series that stops abruptly?
I don't play, actually with TV shows. That's why I wait until a couple seasons are out. For that exact reason, because we've all experienced the grandeur and excitement of a television series that starts out great.
Yep.
And then well before its time has come, it's been and it makes me sad. With video games, I'm not as annoyed, mainly because when it comes to TV shows, I'm normally watching that series in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because of the continuality.
Well, now that you have the ability to do so.
True. Good point.
It's not back back in the day where you had to wait a week.
Well, they also weren't as serialized as they are now either.
Right.
Probably for that reason.
Yeah.
But now it's but with video games, generally it's spread out enough anyways, where it's if in its own entity, it was a great game,
mm-hmm.
then I can live without the sequels. I guess is kind of a way of looking at it. It really, for the most, I mean, I know there's always exceptions, but for the most part, video game sequels aren't as necessary as the next season in a television series. Usually a television series, it's oh my God, I need that next season because, hello, cliffhanger. Whereas a lot of times, video games, they end in a way where, okay, yes, there's going to be a sequel because you can,
mm-hmm.
but they would have lived without it. Now, there's obviously exceptions. Mass Effect needed sequels.
Yes.
We get to the end and there's a Reaper. It's oh my God, I need a sequel.
Right.
So there are some games where you need the sequels, but some games that have sequels, it works, but it wasn't necessary to actually work.
So for me, I'm almost in total agreement with you on the video game front. I've also played quite a bit of episodic games, and that's where it really hurts me deep down inside when there's an amazing game that unfortunately kind of sputters out because the other chapters haven't done well enough in order for the series to continue. That kills me and it makes me very sad. But that being said, as Zealeus stated, the thing that really gets me is when it comes to TV shows. I am a little bit faster on pulling the trigger than Zealeus. If something sounds interesting, exciting, I may jump in on the early side and then cry myself to sleep when it gets canceled abruptly. Firefly, or there's another show that got basically cut down way before its time. It was just too witty for its own good, and that was a show called Pushing Daisies, which was an amazing show, and it won awards, but only lasted 2 seasons because they could never really get that fan base market that was fervent enough to try to keep it alive, like a Chuck, where they literally had like Subway and other companies trying to foot the bill to keep it going. So, it really depends on the platform. I think another thing that that really kills me, and unfortunately, it might be my fault or not. Speaking of digital distribution, I now read a lot of ebooks, and I have Kindle Unlimited. So there are several series where you can get, where you could basically read the entire series through like Kindle Unlimited, which is basically like a borrowing system. You could have up to 10 books checked out at once, kind of like a library. But there's definitely a ton of series out there that I have like blown through and been just, like, oh my God, it's amazing. And then that being said, let's go with the easy one, at least from myself and Zealeus, about a book series that basically puttered out way before its time, and that, of course, is the Patrick Rothfuss series. He had 2 books, had a lot of momentum, and then went kaplooey.
I'm still holding out hope that somehow it magically appears one day.
See, but that's the thing, though. We're pessimistically hopeful. Like, by this point, he should have come out with another book. But hell, that's the kind of mindset you have for a lot of the books out there that are still books that you remember that are, mind blowing. And then of course you run into those series, be it TV, movies, video games, or books where you're just screaming, please, for the love of God, stop.
Yeah, no, but definitely with books, that's definitely one place where I try to wait until like all of them are out, or I see like it's a complete finished series.
How do you know when it's complete series?
Like, what's that?
There's so many. The problem is that, I mean, yes, with like, there's certain series out there that are complete, but there's a lot of series where it looks like they could be complete, but it turns out that the author had a change of heart, or they decided to change something. There was a book series, I can't remember off the top of my head, but it was that I read recently that was supposed to be a 5-book series. And all of a sudden, the 9th book will be published later this year. So they decided they had such a good thing going that they just kept it going after they basically said, we're going to close it off after 5. So I don't know if I don't think I have the strength that Zealeus has in order to make damn sure that the series is complete before I jump in.
Nah, I can, but I mean there's always exceptions to that. It just depends. Some places I have, some places I haven't. But if I can, I'll wait. Just depends.
Yeah. Now, there was another. There's another topic that came in that I want to hit on, and of course this is a community question here, because I'm very interested to see what everyone thinks, and that is, how long can you play with an OP, overpowered character and keep interest in playing that game?
It depends on the gameplay and if there's change in the gameplay. If you're just basically mashing A over and over and over, and that's all it takes to win the game, then I might get a little bit bored. But you know what? Sometimes I get home and you want to know what I feel like doing is smashing faces easily and feeling like I am a god among men and I just bash faces in. And that's all I want to do. I don't want to have a challenge. So I think it really kind of depends on the game and just kind of the mood I'm in.
I think for me, I'm always in for dropping into a game and beating the crap out of all the enemies and stuff, and getting that I'm better than you, I'm a god among men type feeling. But I think I was asked this question while I was playing No Man's Sky, which I've put almost 100 hours in, and that is I'm basically to the point where I can literally take on a fleet of ships with my one itty-bitty little ship. And to be honest with you, there are times where I feel like I can't, the drive to continue kind of putters, and I need to go do something else. I can't constantly do that. I don't know if I've ever. That's not true. Some of the Elder Scrolls, I've basically been to the point where I got nothing else I could do. And to be honest with you, there's not a whole lot left I could do in No Man's Sky, because I have a freighter. I can do successful expeditions. I'm to the point where I'm at the end game. There's something that you can do that basically ends the game. But in the main question is enjoy the galaxy as long as you'd like. So I would say I would say that in a single player setting, when it comes to OP characters, I think that I'm a little bit more lenient. We'll go back to it. I think if ironically, if I'm in multiplayer and I'm OP, I think I'd just be worried that someone else is going to catch up to me, or someone's going to surpass me, and I don't know how long I can deal with I'm a god, and all of a sudden I'm basically this lowly turdlet because they nerfed a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it requires a decent balance to have the balance between allowing you to feel like you can be OP but not being boringly OP at the same time. It's a hard balance to have in a video
Sam
game.
said never watch How to Get Invincible Armor in Skyrim on YouTube. Oh, killed the game. And to be honest, there's definitely, that's one thing I won't do. I'm very hesitant to do walkthroughs or play, walkthrough guides, because I know that once I start, I won't be able to stop, and it kind of, ruins the fun for playing that game, because then I'm literally locked into the walkthrough. However, if you have to have 3 different windows open in order to successfully play Minecraft, I won't play that either, because that's just I don't want to do wiki research to basically be able to build a bucket. That's not fun for me.
I get that.
But then there's unfortunately there's a lot of videos out there that basically they think they're doing you a favor, but they ruin the experience, like the Invincible Armor in Skyrim, or before they absolutely nerfed it and changed all the loadouts in Smite way back when. There was basically he didn't really have this, but there was a build that basically was like the million hit point Hercules, where you basically built it up, and he was like the tank, the everlasting tank. There was almost damn near impossible to knock him out. That was cool for as long as it lasted, but yes. Now I know that we're basically out of time, but I do want to give a quick thing. We're not going to go into this, but there was a data leak that happened at Capcom, and apparently it gave the universe a rough outline for their release plan for the next 4 years, and I just want to read them out to you real quick. Resident Evil Outrage, Q4 of 2021. Dragon's Dogma 2, Q2 of 2022. Street Fighter 6, Q3 of 2022. Actually, I'll just do the years. I'm not going to do the quarters. It's called Mega Man Match in 2022. Resident Evil 4 Remake in 2022. Onimusha New Work, 2022. Monster Hunter 6 in 2023. Biohazard Apocalypse. That's Resident Evil for those out there who don't know. Biohazard is what Resident Evil is called over in Japan. In 2023. another Street Fighter 6 in 2023. I'm guessing it's probably like a player pack or something. I don't know. Final Fight Remake in 2024. Power Stone Remake, which hearing Power Stone, the last time I even thought about Power Stone was back on the Dreamcast. So that's, holy cow, that's 2024. Ultra Street Fighter 6 in 2024.
Ultra.
Oh, okay. So there we go. It's Street Fighter 6 in 2022. Then it's Super Street Fighter 6 in 2023. And then Ultra Street Fighter 6 in 2024. And then finally, there is a project called Resident Evil Hank in 2024. Which I don't know what the hell that means, but...
Does anyone truly know what it actually means?
Hell if I know. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, of course, if you have a topic that you'd like for us to discuss in the future, please, drop it in any of our social media means. And then if you want to tune into any kind of gaming in the near future, I personally do a stream on Sundays and Tuesdays from about 8 p.m. Eastern Time to about 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, if you've been tuning into those, you know that I've gone way over 11 o'clock. Just don't tell my wife about that.
Terrible.
But anyways, so ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, for myself, Charlie, and Zealeus, it's been a pleasure giving you our camera, our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back next Thursday for another Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on gaming in the free world.
Amen to that, brother.